So I have this journal. It's MD paper, made in Japan. I got it because I'm testing for my next Dan or next grade in martial arts. And it's a requirement for us to journal every single day. So I've been doing that. I've been journaling every day pretty religiously. And the requirement for me is to pick one physical challenge and one behavioral challenge. So the physical challenge that I picked is obtain and remain in a state of ketosis from now until testing day. Let me share a little bit about what I wrote here. I'll just read it. It says, to compartmentalize mind, body, and spirit into three separate ideas is something that I desire to amend in my life. Up until now, my training has focused on aesthetics and technique. However, I'm seeking to get to the root of my training by addressing things holistically. And then I go on and basically explain why this sort of diet or the way of eating tunes my body first. And I think more importantly, although that is important, the behavioral challenge is really doing it for me. What I wrote is to deepen my meditative prayer life. Let me just share why I wrote that. So I said, as I stated in my reflection under my physical challenge, reconciling mind, body, and spirit holistically is my focus. To work on operating primarily from my deepest essence, I believe I need to focus on my spirit. I'm learning that karate is not just technique, it's not just movement, but it's character. When I'm not operating from a place of integrity and character in my life, my training suffers. My training has showed me that if something is difficult in class or at home, it is because the drill or movement or exercise tested my character, not just my mental or physical limitations. In order to address my character holistically, I decided to deepen my focus on my meditative prayer life. And I've been documenting, there's much more to say there, but I've been documenting every single day, sort of like what I'm eating, my behavioral thing. So like July 3rd, I wrote how long I prayed or meditated and what I ate, and then just a short reflection, and then my conditioning, my exercises, and so forth. So journaling, this isn't something I've done before, really not to this extent. But this little journal right here has uncovered for me basically so many different, I guess you would say, dimensions of what I'm going through. And right now, everything is just karate. I mean, it's taking up majority of my headspace and my time, and I'm in a season of just training right now for my test at the end of the month. But what I've found with this, if I can share, is this journal, the training and so forth. What it's revealing in me is much more than just training for karate. What it's doing is, between these two challenges, I've allowed myself to really go deeper and deeper and deeper. When I'm only focusing on martial arts and focusing my mind, body, and spirit, as it were, with the things that I need to be focusing on with my training, it's uncovered for me so much more depth than I could have possibly imagined. To give you an example, I set out to just deepen my prayer meditative life. But what that has done has actually been more rewarding than I thought previously when I wrote this. What I've been doing in that is something I would have never imagined that I would have done even a couple months ago, let alone 10 years ago, 20 years ago, which is to go to church every day. So there's something that I participated in called Daily Mass, if you don't know what that is. And it's 30 minutes a day. It's incredible. We wake up as a family, we get in the golf cart, we drive down. It's like a 1-minute drive, literally. And it's 30 minutes. It's the 3 readings of the day, prayer, communion, and then you leave. And my goodness, I've realized that that has opened up a whole nother, like I said, dimension into my life. So just from doing this journal and training, that led to going to daily mass. That has also led to going to the beach every day. That has also led to slowing down my life. That's also led to leaving more space. And as I'm spending more and more time in prayer, and more time, I guess you would say, tuning my body with this challenge and focusing on this goal with my belt test for my grading, it's bringing up things in me that I can't even describe in words, which is why I am having a hard time doing so right now. What I've found is that just this process for me, I have gone back to doing what I'm very familiar with. Something that I wouldn't have even thought of to go back to if it wasn't for the space and the prayer and so forth. And that is more production. Something that I'm very familiar with. Previously in the music world, but now doing more directing and producing and writing. Now that I'm moving into this place, I've started, again, I would say, a place that I wouldn't have even imagined, but for me vocationally, really going back to my roots of who I am and exploring my heart and storytelling and what I want to communicate with the world through the medium of film. Now, this is funny because I've only seen a couple movies. So I don't love film for the sake of film. I've never been a movie nerd. But what I have been a fan of is communicating deeper truth of my heart and what I believe in. And I've previously done that through the medium of music or the medium of business or through the medium of preaching or speaking. I've found that those mediums have been very limiting as to what I want to say. And I often feel misunderstood, as all three of those mediums require me to translate to the masses. And while it is very loving to do so, and there is a place for that, I'm finding that my heart and what I want to communicate needs a bigger medium than just business or speaking or music. And I find that film and media in general is a fantastic medium to explore this. If I'm going to be misunderstood anyways, I might as well sort of go all the way, is what I'm thinking. And anyways, I'm just sharing my reflection as I've been doing this challenge here. And the thing that's really I'm coming to grips with is as I engage with the medium of film, and as I go to daily masses and I slow my life down, and frankly, what I sense God is doing in me is really humbling me. I'm choosing, or should I say, I'm trying to follow what He's doing in me, which is to listen more and speak less, and get more in touch with what's going on in my interior world, so that I can be maybe a better voice piece or something like this, and communicate these things through different mediums. And as I've done this, I have seen a death to myself, and I've sort of slowly died I guess you would say, everything in my life has sort of taken a back seat. Anything of my pride or ego has been put off to the side. And what I've found is that I'm feeling more and more, I guess, isolated, more and more misunderstood. But I'm seeing this as a transformation, as it were, that I'm going through in order to communicate what I want to communicate. And what I sense is my voice is being less and less appreciated. And this is a painful process, because what I'm finding is, as I let go of my identity around business, or let go of my identity around music, or let go of my identity around anything other than where I feel God's calling me, it seems to be more and more appropriate and more true. But in that, I feel less and less valuable. It's difficult to once be the most relevant figure in a container I've set up for myself or around myself. To see echoes of myself, or a shadow of myself, or fingerprints of everything that I've been involved with. It's difficult to see that. And it's difficult to say no. It's difficult to say no to the success of these things. And as I disappear from these things and re-engage more deeply into what I believe God's calling me into, I'm finally finding the peace that He promises. I want everybody to feel this peace.